Yeah, good morning. I'm Vikas Gowli. Basically, I'm from Gujarat, Surat, and I'm planning to move Australia. That's why I enrolled in the PTE exam. In my currently, I'm working with Torrent Pharma as a medical representative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nausheen Fatima.
Good morning, I'm Noshin Fatima. I'm from Hyderabad. I have chosen this test to study abroad. I'm planning to move Australia.
Okay, Nausheen, thank you. Azhar.
Uh, Hi, my name is Azhar Sibhai. Uh, uh, I am from Gujarat, uh, and I am planning to move Australia for work visa.
Okay. Spandana. Spandana. Riddhi.
Hi,
Riddhi.
hi. Hello. Sorry, ma'am. I was unable to unmute myself. So, yeah. Good morning, ma'am, and good morning, everyone. This is Spandana. I'm from Hyderabad. So, we are planning to move to Australia. As part of the immigration process, I'm taking these classes and I'm expecting a 75 plus score.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it. Riddhi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Riddhi Mehta, and I'm currently a junior interior designer, and I'm planning to move to UK, which is why I'm taking PTE. And yeah, I expect a good score.
All right. And Richard Rich. Can we have your introduction, please? All right. Anyway, so guys, is there anyone who knows about the PTE test? I mean, in brief, or maybe has already appeared for the test before? Anyone? Okay. No worries, guys. So I'm going to explain you about the motto of the today's session. In the today's class, we are going to understand importantly the format of the test. Okay. See, knowing about the test and the questions is very important. Until and unless you are not very clear about the format of the test, you may not be able to score better. And PT is anyway a very competitive test, I would say. And it is a scoring test as well because the questions in PT are divided into 20 different activities or the 20 different question types, which are scoring as well. And on the other side, which are interesting as well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move ahead now and let's start with the presentation. All right. So guys, anyway, we must have been aware of the full form of the PT test. That stands for Pearson Test of English. But I would like to know from all of you. See, PT is divided into two different formats, or maybe the two different modules you can say. First is PTE Academic, and the second one is PTE Core. Okay. So guys, about this part, you need to ask your agents which PTE are you applying for? Are you applying for PT Academic or are you applying for PTE Core? Because the format varies in both of these tests. I'm going to cover up the format both based on both of these modules, but I would like to know from you guys which module would you like to like you are applying for. Either it is PT Academic or either it is PT Core, and your agents are the right people to guide you on the same. So as and when you get a time to speak to them, please ask about this module as well, whether you are going for PT Academic or PT Core. Okay, Riddhi, I got yours. All right. Okay. Now, PT stands for Pearson Test of English, and it is a completely online test. We don't have an option to appear for the offline test or the paper-based test here. It is completely going to be an online test. Like all the sections will take place in one go, one after the other, and the total duration of the test is going to be for 2 hours. In case you haven't scored well and you're applying for the retest again, okay? So you can do that just after 5 days of your results. So PTE, okay, why applying for these exams are really important, learners? Because you know that English is a worldwide professional language. So if you're planning to move to any part of the world for any of the purposes, it is very important for you to appear for this English proficiency test. And let me tell you one more thing here. Yesterday I was having a chat with somebody and about the scores requirement, right? And the person belongs to, I think the person belonged to UK. So maybe the requirement must be less. For example, so what some students do is they only take PTE ki we just have to clear PTE, whatever our target is, and everything will be sorted, right? But guys, the major challenge comes when you go there. Maybe you have achieved your target score, maybe your target score was pretty less and you were able to achieve it. But when you move abroad, you face a lot of difficulty in communicating with the people if you're not very well versed with English language. So don't take this PT test as just a favor of moving abroad, but please make sure that you have to be very well versed with English as a language. All right, because you need to communicate with the people outside, and obviously you should have a very flow of language. You should be aware of speaking good in English, reading in English, writing in English, and obviously have to listen to in English. So PT is also going to check your skills based on these four different factors. All right. So this is how the scorecard is going to appear. Like you can see that the person has been scored overall 72 here out of 90. And also you can see that the per section score is also visible. Okay, so learners, this overall score is definitely very important that you should always aim for achieving higher score. And on the other side, your per section score is very, very important. So what if your overall score is good and in the per section score, as you can see that the minimum requirement was 65, but the person has achieved 64 in speaking, right? That means the scorecard will not be valid because the minimum requirement per section was 65. So please be careful with that aspect as well, that you have to target your overall score for sure, but at the same moment, you have to target for the per section score as well. And that is equally important. So this is how your score chart is going to appear like. This is something I think we don't really need it. PT can be registered for like 48 hours prior, and the results can be taken in 2 business days. Time between 2 attempts will be 5 days, 2 hours, and the test dates are pretty flexible. Like you can get the dates very easily. All right. Now, this is a very, very important slide. Either you can take a picture of the slide or you want to prepare the note of this, you can do that. So these are the 20 different question types that I spoke to you about previously. As I told you that PT is divided into 20 different question types or the 20 different activities. So these are the 20 different activities I was talking about. I'm going to discuss about these questions one by one, but let's start with briefing about this question, like what are the different type of questions? Let's understand the name of the questions before. So the first part of the section is speaking and writing. And this is going to be for 54 to 67 minutes here. The first question is personal introduction. So personal introduction means obviously you have to introduce yourself. And the one very important aspect of this question type is that it is non-scoring. You will not get any scores for your personal introduction. Rather, this personal introduction will be sent directly to the universities that you are applying for. If you're going for a PR purpose or the immigration purpose, okay, I mean, obviously it will not be sent anywhere. But if you're going for the study purpose, and so that's how the personal introduction will be sent directly to the university. So always make sure that you're giving a good introduction, right? There's a certain limit as in obviously you won't be giving a lot of amount of time to just mention your introduction. You will only get 30 seconds to complete your introduction. And in PD, in majority questions, the timer will be running on the screen so that you can have a look at the timer, how much time is left or how much time you have taken so far to complete the questions. Because in certain questions or out of this 20, every question has a definite time limit that you have to complete in either 40 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, right? But there are certain questions, for example, in the reading questions, we don't really have such kind of a time limit that you have to complete a question within the given time. So in that case, you have to do the time management on your own. When you see that the timer is running on the screen, I have taken a lot of time, so that means you have to push yourself to the next question. Anyway, I'm going to tell you what is an average time you can take in the questions, which has no certain time frame. But yes, your eye should be there on the timer as well. It's not just like that you have to focus only on the questions or only on solving the questions, but you also have to focus on the timer at the same moment. So you will have to be a multitasker. All right, and now coming to the speaking part, the first type of a question which we have in the speaking is read aloud. Then we have is repeat sentence. We have describe an image, retell the lecture, and answer short questions. So these five are going to be the part of your speaking section. And summarize written text and essay writing are going to be the part of your writing section. So in writing, we have two different questions. And in speaking, we have five questions. Person introduction is just a person introduction. It is not included anywhere, basically. But as you have to speak your introduction, so we have included it under the speaking part. Then the next part of the section which we have is the reading section. So the very best part about the reading section, let me tell you, you have no reading passages. Unlike other tests. So what happened in the reading part is, learners, it is divided into different types of questions again, as you can see it on the screen. So reading and writing, fill in the blanks, multiple choices, multiple answers. In multiple choices, multiple answers and single answer, you will get to read the text for around maybe 100 words or 200 words. That's it. Amana, if we get a paragraph or a passage here, that would be somewhere around 200 to 250 words long and not more than that. But we don't get to read such lengthier passages for around 700, 800 words, which are part of the other test. So that is a very best part about this PT test. And because in the other test, I have seen students are a lot intimidating, like, oh my God, I had to read a passage, and they get little nervous and scared and they miss on the questions for that reason. But that is not going to be the part, that is not going to be the case in our PT reading, because we don't have to get to read such lengthier passages. And about speaking as well, we have it all online. There's no human proctor taking your speaking, but we are going to have it all online. Okay. Then the last part is going to be the listening section, which is divided into 8 different question types, which is summarize spoken text, multiple choices, multiple answers, fill in the blanks, highlight the correct part of the summary, multiple choices, single answer, select missing word, highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. All right, so these are the 8 different types of questions which we have in the listening section. So after this, I'm going to explain you about each and every question in much detail so that you understand how the question will look like. Okay, one more thing, learners. I think PT में there is one thing which is one word which is very common, that is a template. You must have heard about it. Okay, so does anybody know about this part of the template, or is anybody aware of this template part or have heard about it? That PT may the templates part really work. Did anybody hear this before? Okay. If not, you're going to get a lot of information about the templates online if you're going to have a search about it, maybe from your friends. But let me tell you, I am completely not in favor of templates. Because that is the ready-made information you are just like the putting down on your screen and adding a few part of the bits. That is definitely not allowed. That is not going to be considered as a test. And why? See, previously a lot of students, trust me, a lot of students were using the template. But when the PT test came into the picture and they are saying that the languages of like majority of the students are same, they have introduced human proctors now. Human proctors as in, so there are certain questions, for example, describe an image, retell the lecture, summarize spoken text, essay writing. So these were the questions where students were using the templates. But now we have introduced the PT, the Pearson Test of English has introduced human proctors. So not just AI is going to have an evaluation of whatever you have written, but human proctors are also going to check on your answers, like human examiners. So if in case you're coming across a template and you plan to add a template in your answer, do not do that. I'm going to explain you about the certain phrases, certain language forms that you can use in your answer, but please don't go with the templates. All right? Okay. There's one more thing I would like to mention about the PT test, which makes it very scoring. And that term is basically called as partial credit. Has anybody heard about the term partial credit? What does partial credit in PT means? Okay. See, in PT, what makes it more scoring as well? For example, let's assume that we have a question type which is reading and writing fill in the blanks. Okay, we have this question. So in a paragraph, we saw that we had around 5 different blanks, which we had to fill it up. But out of this 5 different blanks, I was only able to do 3 blanks in a correct manner. So I will be getting scores based on these 3 correct answers. That means whatever I have done it correctly, I'll be getting the scores on the basis of that. That is called as partial credit. And in PT, in 90% questions, we have a system of partial credit. And that is huge, learners. So never miss a chance in PT that you are just leaving the question as it is, that you're not able to do it. No, don't do that. Whatever you are able to get it correctly, do it properly. Okay, am I clear? Okay. All right, so let's start with this. So first we're going to start with the speaking section, okay? And speaking, may anyway have told you everything. So post introduction, as I told you learners, that it is going to be the non-scoring part of your test. But the personal introduction gives an opportunity to give your selected institution some information about yourself, because as I told you that your personal introduction will be sent directly to the universities that you are applying for. Okay. For your personal introduction, learners, you get only this many seconds of time to prepare yourself for the introduction, whatever you want to include, and you will have to speak only for 30 seconds. The timer will be running on the screen for the preparation as well and for the speaking as well. Okay. All right. And so this is about the introduction. This item is not scored, but will be sent like to the scorecard. It is going to be sent to the universities with the scorecard, whatever you have achieved. So this is about your personal introduction. One more thing about the PT test is that you are allowed to prepare the notes. So you will be provided with a noteboard in your exam by the Pearson Test of English only, and you are allowed to prepare the notes in whatever way you want to prepare the notes and all the questions. So nobody is going to check you on your notes. So this notes is for your reference, for your guidance, for your practice. Okay. All right. So let's move ahead with the next question type, which is read aloud, guys. In any case, in any time, if you ever get a query or a doubt, just raise your hands, ask the question to me verbally, or just write it down on the chat box, whatever is feasible for you. Okay. The next question type is a read aloud, which is a very, very simple question type. So we can expect to get around 6 to 7 questions in read aloud as well. What happened is, Anas, do you remember the time when we were in our school days and a teacher used to pick us up and used to say that, please read this paragraph aloud in the class? So this is the same question. What is going to happen is that on the screen, you're going to see the text for around 60 words. What you have to do is you have to read aloud the paragraph. And you will be getting 40 seconds here to read aloud the paragraph maximum. But you will be getting a certain time for the preparation as well. Now, why does we need preparation in read aloud? Why? Because if in case you come across a vocabulary word in the paragraph which you are not familiar with, you are not familiar with the pronunciation of the word, you can check with the you can check with that word that what can be the pronunciation during your preparation time, right? So this is the first question type in the speaking, which is read aloud, and please expect to get around 6 to 7 questions here. Next is repeat the sentence. We are not going to practice the questions today. I'm just going to give you a review of the questions. We are going to start with the practice from the day one. This is just going to be a demo class today. This class is not going to be included in your 20 classes. This is just an additional demo class. Okay. Now in the repeat the sentence learners, you can expect to get around 10 to 12 questions. You're going to listen to a statement and you have to repeat the statement exactly in the same manner. That is called as repeat the sentence. Now, for example, you have heard a sentence, but you were not able to hear it properly. Maybe you skipped 2 words from that sentence. So you try to repeat it, but you skip those 2 words. So whatever you spoken in a correct manner, you will be getting scores on the basis of that basis, which is called as again partial credit. So if you have just skipped those 2 words, it's okay. But whatever you have spoken it rightly, you will be getting the scores for that. So that's why attempting the question in PT is really important because partial credit is there. Then the next question type which we have is describe an image. You can expect to get around 3 to 4 questions here also. So on the screen, learners, you're going to see an image. The image could be of a pie chart. The image could be of a landscape. The image could be of a process diagram, like life cycle of a silkworm, whatever it is. You have to describe that image in your own words while speaking. Okay. Like, for example, you can say that the image, the bar chart describes the number of people who have donated to charity during the years 1919, 2010. It can be seen that the people in 1990 have donated the maximum. So what you're doing is you're describing an image. So your image can have a statistical information also. Your image can be a simple landscape also, but you have to describe it. All right. You will be having this much amount of time for the preparation, just 25 seconds. And you will have to speak for 40 seconds. Okay, so every answer of yours going to be recorded. So please make sure, learners, that you are speaking properly, clearly, loudly, so that whatever you are speaking is properly recorded as well. One more thing, learners, if you're not going to speak within 3 seconds of the time, like your recording has started and you're not speaking within 3 seconds, your microphone will be closed and you will not be able to record anything after that. All right, so please make sure that you have to be ready as soon as the recording starts so that you start speaking. All right, after this, we have a next question, which is retell the lecture. So in case learners, if you're not aware that whether you're going for PT Core or PT Academic, let me tell you that retell the lecture will not be there for the PT Core students. But for PT Academic, we have this question, which is retell the lecture. You can expect to get around 1 to 2 questions here. So in retell the lecture, what is going to happen is that you're going to listen to a lecture. The lecture will be for around 1.5 minutes. And then you have to give a summary of that lecture in 40 seconds. Like you have to speak it. Whatever you have heard in the lecture. That is called as retell the lecture. You are always allowed to prepare the notes, learners. So even when the lecture is being played, you can prepare the notes. When the image is there on the screen with you, you can just prepare the notes on whatever you want to include in your answer. So in all the question types, you are allowed to prepare the notes. All right, that is retell the lecture. Then we have the last question type in the speaking is answer short questions. You can expect to get around 5 to 6 questions here. So answer short questions mean you will be asked questions and you have to answer the questions in either one word or a phrase, but not more than that. I'm just going to give an example of the questions, how the questions will be like. For example, what is the study of plants called as? Botany. What is the study of animals called as? So these are, and then the questions are going to be based on some generic level or IQ based questions. Right? So the answer can be neither one word or a phrase. So the marking will be done in a way like either the answer will be correct, you're going to get 1 score for that. If the answer is incorrect, you're going to get 0 scores for that. Okay? And you have to answer that in 10 seconds. Your answer. Whatever your answer is, you have to speak it within 10 seconds. All right? So this was all about the speaking learners. Does anybody has any doubts or queries you want to ask me about the speaking section? Are we all good? I think that's a yes. All right. Now we can start with the writing section. Now the writing with the first question type is summarized written text. We can expect to get around 1 to 2 questions in the summarized part as well. This is going to be the part of your writing section. So what happened in this question is that on the screen, you're going to read a text for around 300 words long. And what you need to do is you need to write a summary of that passage in 10 minutes. But there's a condition here. Condition is that you can write till around 5 to 75 words is going to be the word limit for you to write on your summary. There's one more condition that you only have to write single sentence. Now, what is the meaning of the single sentence? What can you assume by the single sentence here? Here, single sentence learners means that the full stop will be added just to the end. There will be one sentence that you have to write. That means the full stop will be placed just at the end of the sentence. In the middle of the information, you can include multiple information, but you have to use the punctuation marks correctly, commas. Because if you're going to write a summary of 300 words in just 5 to 75 words, obviously, it is going to include a different set of informations. Correct? And to include that information in just one single statement, you will have to use the punctuation marks correctly. Either you can use semicolon, you can use the commas as well. But the full stop will come only at the end of the sentence, only at the end of your answer. Am I clear? Right? So this is about the summarized written text. The next question type which we have in the writing part is the essay writing. Essay writing is going to be the little lengthier one, which you have to do it in 20 minutes. That means you will have to write an essay here. An essay can be written in around 200 to 300 words. Okay, and the word count will be there on the screen. So how many words you have written, you can see the word count on the screen as well at the same time. Again, guys, essay, see, we all have done essay in our school days or probably the college days, right? We know how to write an essay. But in these exams, which is English language proficiency test, it is always better to follow a proper format of writing. Format as in structure. For example, we cannot write an essay in just one paragraph. And we have to divide it into different paragraphs. Now, what actually we have to include it in each and every paragraph is a proper structure. So I'm going to explain you about the proper format of the essay writing so that you're very well versed about how you have to complete your essay writing. Okay. Okay. Now, this was all about the writing section. Anybody has any doubts in the writing part? No one. All right. Now let's move ahead with the reading section. Okay. Now reading is going to be for 29 to 30 minutes long, and it is anyway going to assess you on your reading skills. So the first type of a question which we have in reading is reading and writing fill in the blanks. We can expect to get around 5 to 6 questions here also. So what happen is that you're going to see a text on the screen with the several blanks, and each blank will have 4 options. So you're going to select your answer from the given those options. That is reading and writing fill in the blanks. And the text will be around 300 words long. So there's no negative marking here, guys. Even if your answer is incorrect, it's okay, but at least try to give an attempt. Because if it goes right, you're going to get some scores for that. Okay? This is reading and writing fill in the blanks, where for each blank, we are going to get an options here. The next question type which we have is multiple choice, multiple answers. So on the screen, learners, you're going to read a text for around 300 words long. And based on this text, you're going to have a question. You're going to see a question on the screen with the different options. So based on your question, you have to answer, based on the reading passage, you have to read the question and answer the question in whatever options you see is going to be the correct one. But you have to select more than one option here because it says multiple answers. One more thing here. We have a negative marking here. So if in case two answers are correct and one answer you have marked it correctly and the other answer of yours is wrong, so there will be -1 and you're going to get 0 for that. So until and unless you're not very sure about the options in these questions, do not mark anything, learners, because then it may go incorrect. Okay, so this is one such question type. We have in total 3 different questions in entire PTE where we have a negative marking. So multiple choice, multiple answers in the reading is one such question where you're going to have a negative marking. All right. Next is reorder the paragraphs. Reorder the paragraphs means it is going to be a kind of a puzzle for you. Puzzle as in you're going to see a short paragraphs on the screen which are not structured in a proper manner. So what your task is to do, you have to reorder these paragraphs into a proper structure. That is called as reorder paragraphs. Okay, and you can expect to get around 2 to 3 questions here as well. The next question we have in the reading is fill in the blanks again. So the previous question was reading and writing fill in the blanks. This is a simple fill in the blanks where we are going to see a text on the screen with the different blanks, and for all the blanks at the bottom of the text we are going to see a bunch of options of the words. So you have to select your answer from those given options. That means for all the blanks we have a common set of options. Okay, the text may be for around 80 words long, and again we have partial credit. So if in case again out of those 5 blanks you get 3 of them correct, you're going to get 3 scores for that. And again there is no negative marking. And the last question type which we have in the reading is multiple choice to single answer. So here instead of choosing multiple responses, we only have to choose one single response, and that response will be either correct or incorrect. Okay, again, you're going to see read a text on the screen for 300 words long. You're going to see a question along with the options, and you have to select only one option from there. So that is called as multiple choice choose single answer. So learners, this is all about the reading section as well. Anybody, any doubts, any queries?
Ma'am, as of
Yes.
now, there was only one negative marking section, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
The other 2 questions are the part of the listening section, which we are about to start now. Okay. So in total in PT we have 3 questions which has negative marking. All right. Any other doubts, anyone? Are we good till here?
I'm kind of confused between the difference in the fill in the blanks and the reading and writing fill in the blanks.
Okay. So Riddhi, what is going to happen is that in reading fill in the blanks, in this one, for example, you have a text here. Take care with the different blanks. At the bottom of the text, you're going to have a box with the different options of the words. So you have to select these blanks from this given options. The words have to be selected from this given. So that means for all of these blanks, we have common set of options, right? So these options are common. But for the reading and writing fill in the blanks, you're going to see a text here. And for each blank, there's a scroll down option here. You have to click on this and you're going to see 4 options for each blank. That's the only difference. Okay. Any other doubts, anyone? Any more queries you have? All right, I think we are good then. So let's start with the listening section now. So listening is going to be 30 to 43 minutes long, and listening is going to be very, very interesting, learners. So the first type of a question which we have in the listening is summarize spoken text, where you can expect to get around 1 to 2 questions here. So you remember in the writing part, there was a question which is summarized written text, where you have to read a passage and then you have to write a summary. But here in this, we have to listen to a text or an information, and we have to write a summary of that information. So that, yeah, you can expect to write around 50 to 70 words here. Okay. But you can write multiple sentences here. जैसे summarize written text में there was a condition that we can only write one single statement. Like the full stop always have to come at the end. But that is not the condition in the summarized spoken text. That means you can write multiple informations here. And you have to complete it in 50 to 70 words, and the time would be 10 minutes to complete the entire answer. The next question is multiple choice, multiple answers. So again, you're not going to see a text on the screen, rather you're going to listen to the information. So while the track is being played, you're going to see a question on the screen along with the different options. And whatever you have heard in the track, as and per the question is being asked to you, you have to choose more than one response here. And again, learners, we can expect to have negative marking here. So only go for the second option as and when you are very sure about it. Otherwise, just skip that part. Because anyway, we have a negative marking. The next is fill in the blanks. Okay, now how does the listening fill in the blanks takes place is that you're going to see the transcript of the recording on the screen with the different blanks. As and when the track is being played, you have to match the words from the track and have to fill your blanks. So the words will be there in the track. You have to focus it. And whatever words are missing in the text, you have to take the words from the listening track and have to fill it up in your given blanks. That is called as fill in the blanks. So guys, it's like more like you already have the answers with you, just that you have to concentrate here. And trust me, in the listening questions like this, you can expect to score full marks here. Because the answers are already there. Okay, so this is listening, fill in the blanks. Then highlight the correct part of the summary. Here, what is going to happen is that you're going to see a few part of the paragraphs on the screen. Maybe there are around 4 options of paragraphs on the screen, and you're going to listen to a recording of a track. So whatever option you think is going to suffice with the summary of the track, you're going to click on that option. That means highlight the correct summary. That means out of the given options, whichever option do you think is having all the related information or is going to be the best option for the summary of the track, you need to click on that particular answer. So the marking will be done in a way like either it will be correct or incorrect. The next is multiple choice, choose single answer. So here, instead of choosing multiple responses, you only have to select one single response. That is called as multiple choice, choose single answer. The next question we have is select the missing word. We can expect to get around 1 to 2 questions here. So on the screen, learners, you're going to see a number of options of different words or the phrases, maybe around 3 to 5 options of different words or the phrases. And then you're going to listen to a track. At the end of the track, you're going to listen to a beep sound. So you need to replace that word. You need to replace that beep sound with the options given, that whichever option you think could be the end of that statement that can replace that beep sound. That is called as select the missing word. So in total, in the listening part, guys, we have 8 different type of questions. All the questions are simple, but just that there are too many questions to understand. That's why the students get confused at times. This is always important just to go through the format of the task of the test again and again so that you are very much familiar with the question types and with the format as well. Then the next which we have is highlight incorrect words. Again, in this question, we have a negative marking. So there are three different questions where we have negative marking. First is multiple choice, choose multiple answers, reading, then multiple choice, choose multiple answers, the listening part, and then we have highlight incorrect words. What happened in this part is that you're going to see the transcript of the recording on the screen, and then again the track will be played. But there will be certain words in the track which will be not be matching with the transcript of the recording. For example, if in the transcript it is mentioned that the words you click are highlighted in yellow, but when the track is being played, the information is the words you click are highlighted in red. So this word is not matching with the track, right? We need to highlight this yellow word there. That is called as highlight incorrect words. But if in case you have highlighted a word which is correct, for example, words was a correct word and it was exactly the same in the track also, but you highlighted this word, there will be negative marking for this word there. Because you highlighted on the word which was already correct. And you don't have to do that. Otherwise, there will be negative marking. And the last question which we have is write from dictation. Right from dictation, when learners, you're going to listen to a statement and you have to write the statement on the given box exactly in the same manner. That is called as write from dictation. Again, we have a partial credit. For example, if there was a statement, the recording of a sentence is played. This was a statement which was being spoken. And then you have to write this statement exactly in the same manner, but because you were not able to hear it properly, or maybe because you missed on this word, instead of a sentence, you write down the statement. But whatever you have written it correctly, like the recording of played, you're going to get the scores on the basis of these correct words. Again, that is called as partial credit. All right. So I hope I'm clear, everyone. Are you all clear with the questions here? Anybody has any doubts, any queries about it? Now, this is our time for the Q&A round, learners. So you can go ahead with whatever doubts you have and whatever queries you have. Bala, Vikas, Nausheen, Azair, Spandana, Ritanshi, Khushi, Riddhi. Come on, learners, you have to be an active listener, first of all, and you have to come up with the doubts. If in case, obviously, you have it, but these were the 20 different question types which we have in the PTE test. So the questions may look little simple, learners, but again, the challenges comes when you get all the 20 questions in one go. And that's how students feel a little confused. To just go through the understanding of the questions again and again whenever you get time, just to go through in depth of the question is going to be the part of reading, writing, listening, or speaking. And practice is a very, very important key.
Ma'am, during the sessions, are we going to do any mock assessments?
Okay, so Spandana, let me just explain you about how I'm going to take these sessions forward. So they will be in total 20 different classes. Okay. And these 20 different classes, we are going to complete on each and every question. How we do is, so initially, like for the session, we start with making you understand about the question type, making you understand about the strategy, the tip involved in completing that question. After that, we are going to do some questions as an offline practice. And then we have an access to the portal. I have an access to the portal from where I'll make you guys practice online. And at the same time, you're going to get your evaluations as well. So that you can understand that how the evaluation also take place, where you went wrong, maybe in terms of grammar, maybe in terms of content, maybe in terms of anything else, you're going to get a live evaluation also. Now, after the session gets over, maybe your 20 classes are over, then you will be given the mock test by your counselors or the agents. So you can ask them for the mock test as and when the 20 classes are over. And then you can appear for the mock test as and when you can. Also in the session, see, I'll be sharing a link for the daily practice. So that link is anyway going to be an online practice, but without any evaluation. Okay, but that is only for the sake of your practice, so that whatever question we do it in the class today, you can practice a question at home also. The link will be for the same thing. Anybody was planning to take the test in another 1 month? When is the test ready?
No, like I haven't really thought about, like I haven't, like I'm thinking that as soon as the 1 month of the classes are completed, I'll take the test.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else?
Will you
Yeah.
be like guiding us through when to take the test, right? Like you'll understand.
Ah. So, Riddhi, see what my suggestion to everyone is, if you are clear in this 20 classes about the test, anyway, you guys will be very well versed about the exam, about the question types, and then take a gap for at least a week or 10 days after the session gets over, and then go for the test or go for the main exam, because in this 1 week or 10 days, you have to do regular practice. You have to appear for the mock test also. You have to check for evaluations as well. See where you're going wrong, work on that, and then after a break of one week or 10 days, go for your exam then. So I think that is the best time. But if you're going to take a long break, that is the moment when students lose the touch with the questions, and then they have to restart it again, because we don't usually practice them on everyday basis. So it's always easy, guys. If the when the classes gets over, like in 20 days, the classes will be over. Practice for 1 week or 10 days, and then you can appear for the test. And I think that's the best time or the moment you can go for the test. Anybody else who's planning to take the test a little sooner?
Yes, ma'am.
When are you planning to take the test, Pandana?
In next month, ma'am. As you said, yeah, once the sessions are over,
Okay.
I'll be practicing for 1 week or 10 days. Then I have to take the exam. Even I feel the same. With immediate effect, I'll get the best results.
Yes, exactly. And also, as I already mentioned it to you, that please ask your agents or the counselors which test are you planning to go for. Either it is PT core or PT academic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is the first question that you need to check for. And guys, please make sure, see, I mean, you're adults, and these trainings are for you to guide you on the questions, guide you on the test, make you understand how to do the questions. But the major part lies with you, that you have to practice regularly. So don't just rely on these classes for you to achieve a better score, but practice is a very, very important key. Until and unless you're not practicing enough in your at your place or maybe in your free time, do not expect to score even more than 50 score. Right? So as and when we are going to complete a question, please make sure when you go home or whenever whatever your free time is, you have to practice those questions on daily basis. I'm going to provide you with the link for the practice. Do that any time when you, even if you have a query or a doubt, feel free to connect with me. I think we all are a part of the WhatsApp group. Are we? Is everybody the part of the WhatsApp group? Right? So yes, Nosheen? Okay. If not, then you can ask the counselors to
Ma'am,
add
I
you.
have a question.
Yes.
Um, uh, wh- which have negative marking, so it is better not to answer it.
It's not like that. Say, for example, we have a question time which is multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Okay? At least it is easy to get one correct answer, but if you're not really sure about the another option, then don't mark it. But at least give it an attempt.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm a little skeptical ki if you're not very sure about the another choice of yours or the second option of yours, then probably you can skip it. But attempting is important, Ritashi. Anyway, you're going to lose the scores otherwise. So as and when you are very sure, okay, this option is going to be the correct one, but I'm not really sure about the other option, don't mark the other option then. Any other doubts, anyone? Are you all good with all the questions types?
Yeah, I wanted to ask this thing that, like, in my conditions, there is, since I'm planning to go to the UK, so they prefer PTE for UKVI, but my agent told me not to give that since it's for like for work and everything, and it's not for like student academic. But I still wanted to know the difference. Like, is there any difference in the like questions, like PTA for academic and
No, really, I don't really think so because IELTS will be the same thing is there, like IELTS, like a common IELTS and IELTS for UKVI, but the format is exactly the same. There's
so
no such kind of a difference.
so if I'm like, could I go for that, or does it make no sense?
No, if your agent is saying that you should go for the common PT exam, I think you can go for that as well. I mean, that is a better choice there.
All right, all right.
Maybe he has a reason that it is more valid
Yeah,
and it can be applicable everywhere.
right, yeah.
So yeah. All right. So I hope you all know that the classes are going to be for 1.5 hours on daily basis. That is 8 to 9:30, right? And one more thing I wanted to share it with you that okay, I forgot it completely. ठीक है हाँ about the WhatsApp group, right? You're going to get my contact number from there in the WhatsApp group. So anytime if you have a query or a doubt you want to ask me on WhatsApp, you can do that. But from morning 8 till evening 8 p.m. I may not be able to answer you exactly at the same time, but you have to give me some time to reply you back. Also, learners, see, I mean, you may go through the different practices, you may identify the different platform for the practices, it's okay, but don't get confused. Because once you're going to look at the multiple information from the different sites, maybe from YouTube, कोई कुछ कह रहा, कोई कुछ कह रहा, so students get really confused. Don't do that. You can obviously adopt for the different platform for the practice. You can do that for sure. But see, information is everywhere, and maybe some people might tell you that go for this thing, go for the templates, go for this thing. Don't really run behind it because now the system has changed. It has completely changed. Now the marking is a little tougher as compared to the before times, only because of the template thing. Right? So you all are smart, practice well, and see, we don't really provide you with an access to any of the portals for the practice, like applications. So if you want to purchase one, I can just suggest you certain names for that. Right? जैसे Alpha PT है, Ape Uni है. If in case you want to buy the subscription of any of the platforms for the practice, like you want to do an online practice and you want evaluation as well. So then only you can opt for these applications. But if you only have to practice and just want to understand the time management and everything, then the link that I'm going to share it with you for the practice, you can practice it from that link then. And class maybe learners, we are going to do enough practice, like offline also and online also. Okay, also I have designed one book for my students, which is going to have all the strategies mentioned. The strategies, the type of questions, the different type of phrases we need to use, the different type of sentence structures we need to use. It has all the information. So once we are going to start with the regular classes, I'm going to share that book with you, that file with you, so that you can go through the reading of it once. And also learners, because this is going to be a test of English, so don't just think that we have to only practice these questions. These questions are going to check your writing skills also, your speaking skills, writing skills, मतलब grammar भी आ गया. And grammar, I know is very vast, but we don't have to go into really into the depth of grammar here. We just have to be pretty sure that we are good in forming sentences. At least a simple sentence. I'm not asking you to make a complicated sentence, but at least a simple sentence has to be fine. Otherwise, If you say that, ma'am, मैंने अच्छा किया था, but I haven't scored it well, if your sentence structure is not good, then just forget about the scores. Because overall, it is going to be your test of English. So everything has to be in place. Either it is your grammar, either it is your vocabulary, either it is the usage of phrases. Everything has to fall in place. So, in case if you're not really well versed with the formation of the sentences, start doing it from now on. Not the complex one, but a simple one. And I'm going to share the list of the vocabulary words also with you. The use of the connectors, everything will be shared with you. But it is all up to you how you're using it in your daily practice. And if you think that your speaking is not good, that you're not really good with speaking properly, from since day one, just start with the practice of reading aloud. So what you can do in that case is just stand in front of the mirror, pick any article and start reading it aloud, and always record your task for self-evaluation so that you can understand where you are going wrong actually. Okay, so these are just a few tips for your daily practice and how can you improve on your English language. So this was just from my side, guys. If in case you have any doubts about anything about the classes or anything as such, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can meet, see each other tomorrow.
Ma'am, sorry to ask
Yes,
you,
Bala.
which one is the easier? I mean, IELTS or PTE?
Okay, so I can explain the format for both of them, but yes, I mean, as per my students' experience, not mine experience, obviously PT is easy because IELTS is a little subjective test. It has lengthy questions and then it has passages to read, which we are not really fond of reading. Like the passage is going to be for 900 to 1200 words long, 3 passages. So it is a bit complicated. Not complicated, but it is little on a tougher side as compared to the PT test. So yes, if I have to compare, I think PT is easier as compared to IELTS.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts, anyone? Any more queries?
Is it the classes are Monday to Friday or Saturday also?
Saturday also. So we're going to start our weekend with a good note. Yeah. Take a learner. So I think we all are good. And I'm expecting to see you all in my class starting from tomorrow. I think so. Anyway, the counselors will inform me about that. And so guys, let's target for a good score. And it has to be a contribution from both the sides, from my side for sure, and from your side as well. Because let me just give you an example. I have seen a few of my students who practiced enough, and there was one of my students. I think her name was Saundarya. She scored 85. One of my students even scored 90, and that is possible. But it depends on the level of practice that you are doing. So the credit only मतलब मुझे नहीं जाता exactly, but उन students को ज़्यादा जाता है because they used to practice a lot. And they used to send me their answers for the evaluation and everything. I was happy to do that because I can see that they're practicing. That's why they scored such a good marks. Okay, so practice enough and everything will fall in place. I mean, everything will be good because this is not just complicated test. It's very simple. The questions are very simple, just that you have to be in touch with the questions. That's the only thing. All right. So I'll take your leave, everyone. And let's start with our day one now. Whenever we are going to meet next, and we are going to start with the writing section. And that's my way of starting with. Anyway, in your exam, the test starts from speaking section, but I'm going to start with the writing section. Speaking, I take it at the end. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Hoping to see you soon. Take care of yourself and have a wonderful day ahead. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good day.